With the pregame, there's a lot of controlling what you can control. Obviously, with the news of Giannis is not going to play tonight, I'm curious when you have a situation where an opposing star that is so central and big to what the other team does, what do you sort of fall back on and kind of rely on when something like a shift like that happens? Do you prepare for like both scenarios coming into it, or is it kind of you just adjust as things happen?
Yeah, knowing that he was questionable this morning, we prepared as if he was going to play. I'd always want the guys to know what a scouting report's going to look like for somebody of that caliber if he does decide to play. So that was the bulk of our shoot-around. But I think that without him on the team, the way that they play is a little bit different, but it still fits into our absolutes of what we do in transition, how we guard in half court, and how we finish possessions. And so the absolutes won't change. Obviously, just some of the personnel tendencies and some of the actions that they're going to get to. But it's stuff that we've seen throughout the year that we've practiced. So looking forward to the challenge tonight.
What was the first NBA-ready skill you saw when you were scouting Con Knippel?
Man, there's so many.
First thing that popped out to you.
There were so many. Probably the first thing that I always fall back on is just like the winning mindset, his competitiveness when I watch him play on both ends of the court. He just fully embraces whatever his role is, and he wants to be impactful on every possession, which is what I love.
And I know that LaMelo kind of worked out with Greensboro, and you're kind of continuing to monitor him. What's kind of his progress looking like?
Yeah, he's made good progress. I thought that Greensboro session was great for the next steps of his rehab plan, and he responded well this morning when he showed up, and so it was another positive step, and he's trending in the right direction.
Your offense runs a lot of ball screens for your ball handlers. Is there anything specific about the guards on this team or the composition of the roster as a whole that has made that the preferred approach to this point in the season?
Yeah, I would say our personnel, and especially, coming into a season, knowing that last year offensively I thought we were a little bit too slow and our running habits created some of the slowness. And I thought that this year if we switched it up a little bit, it would help maximize our whole roster. It would put Melo in a spot to play more early pick and roll. It would also just help our team just get to actions a lot quicker. I think that it just took us way too long last year. So with the pick and rolls too, I think that our bigs do such a good job of screening and having like these screen assists and helping us create more advantages and get people off of our bodies. And so I've been happy with the progress that I think our group has made. I think in pick and roll we have some really good combinations analytically that are helping us. And so I think that was a good shift for us.
Charles, first of all, happy belated birthday. But secondly, kind of a general question for you here. I know obviously a whole bunch of new faces on this team, and you're missing some of your weapons here tonight. But when you look at year two versus year one, what would you say that you've noticed in terms of infrastructure or culture that you've seen in place that maybe wasn't there last year, and kind of your development of the program at large?
I think some of the things that have changed maybe are more like tactical emphasis, but I would say the infrastructure of what we had last year, we're just really trying to build upon that and add to it and then continue to enhance it. And it was focused highly like on trying to create professional and daily routines for our guys. And I think that we've done that. I think that we've gotten even better with our communication, even better with our planning and player development plans. It was also to try to help the group just be more competitive and find these ways of what does it mean to compete on defense or side out of bounds, and being active on the inbounder or diving on loose balls and just finding those moments. And then the overall togetherness of the group was important. And I think that we did that last year. And again, we try to expand on it in the off season, during summer league, during training camp. And we're seeing the group, I think, play with the pass a lot better. So it's carrying over on the court too. So emphasis are kind of the same, or I should say the infrastructure is the same, but some of the tactical emphasis, like, offensively trying to play faster, trying to give them different running habits, talking about passing ahead, passing across, the earlier question about more pick and rolls this year. Some of those things have changed, but I would say the daily structure of what we do and our mindset of trying to be obsessed with daily improvement, the most competitive team for larger portions of the game and the more together team, those three things are still in place.
Just for you, what has PC kind of meant to that?
PC's been great for us, really good addition. We've had a ton of guys that we've added to the roster via trade, draft, and free agency that I think have helped us enhance our culture. And PC being one of those guys that won a championship. We've talked to him a little bit about how do you go about trying to win an in-season tournament cup. And so he just has so much experience. I've leaned on him with some of our younger players because his journey was interesting coming into the league in Portland, not getting a ton of playing time, having to all of a sudden develop different skill sets and be ready to play, coming off the bench, everything. Like, he's seen it all. He's been around some really good players, and so he uses that experience to be a vocal leader for us. And I think the other part that the guys notice and they appreciate about him is how he goes about his business every day. Consummate professional, and he's in the Stay Ready group games, and he approaches that the same way that he approaches a shoot around, and he's just locked in and focused, and I think that it becomes contagious, and the guys pick up and they take notice of it.
Coach, Miles spoke after the game the other night about the turnovers, and I think I'm going to paraphrase, might get it wrong, but he said some of them he can live with and others are unacceptable. I'm wondering if you can differentiate between the two, and then how do you identify and sort of correct the ones that are not acceptable?
Yeah, well, as much as you want to play with the pass, you're going to have some turnovers where you're trying to hit the big rolling. And you might be trying to throw a lob or a seam pass to him, or you see the nail shift and you're trying to make that kick out pass, that early easy. And so those of like aggression and purpose, we're good with. It's the turnovers, I think, a quick inbounds and they're trying to pressure you and you're not aware of it and it gets stolen or you throw it out of bounds. Some of those careless ones are the ones that I think that we want to tighten up. The ones also situationally where you haven't really had a good shot the last two possessions and maybe they have scored the last couple possessions and they have some momentum going. Maybe now is not the time to throw that full court lob and risk a turnover and helping them get to a 6-0 run, 7-0 run. So timeliness, carelessness, those turnovers I think we can tighten up and keep watching and improving on.
Charles, it's obviously a big week for Con, and it'll be even a bigger game for him coming up on Friday playing against his hometown team. What have you noticed about his preparation or the way he's approaching these next couple of games this week?
Same as usual. Con is laser focused. Every time he comes into the building, what is he eating for breakfast, or what his vitamin looks like, or the film. And so his preparation looks the same every day. I do think there'll be excitement for these games. Even talking to him a little bit when he first got here, he's like, I remember watching your guys' title run, and he'd be in probably that connection to Bucks basketball for him growing up in the area. Preparation is always laser focused every day.